Hey, good morning, Facebook. Andy, Doc, Melder here. A beautiful morning right here in Katy, Texas, coming to you live for Coffee and Stretches with Doc. And it's metaphorical, right? We're gonna do some figuratively stretching of the mind, and we're gonna do some literal stretching of the body. And might not make so much sense to people, but maybe as we keep going, this will. I just, a couple of notes, have to point out how extremely social human beings are. We like to be around people, and this COVID thing has been tough on a lot of people. And let me point it out to you how social we are. Here is the parking lot, which I arrived at about 15 minutes ago. This doesn't look like much of a parking lot. It's empty. You can't really see. It's on the side of the road. There were no cars here. And then I parked here. Within 5 minutes, 2 cars parked right next to me. We have all these empty spots. But here they are, right here with me. So, no big deal. Just thought it was funny that I was all alone a few minutes ago, and now I'm not. But I kind of wanted to show y'all around. I'm over here at Rick Rice Park. Here we have this rose garden and some trees. And then the bayou system that runs behind me, you can't really see, walking path and everything else. And here's my friend who's setting up. I got the sunrise behind me. Ooh, or in front of me, really, behind y'all, as I'm shooting the video. And if you see over there, that is the VA outpatient clinic in Katy, Texas. That would only be about a quarter mile away from my house, where I would receive my health care, but I don't go to that one. I drive 20 miles away to a different one that is less stressful to go to, for the simple fact that it's less stressful. And I try to only use the VA healthcare system for, my checkups and things that I need. However, I think it's really, I guess maybe a bit ironic that here's the park that I come to take care of myself, right next to the VA, that has disgustingly not taken care of many people I know. But that's a different topic for another day, but actually kind of leads into our coffee topic of the day, which is locus of control. A lot of people don't know what that means. I see a few people watching. Hi, thank y'all for joining me. I can't really see who it is because I'm too far away. And hopefully y'all can hear me okay. But anyways, locus of control. What does that mean? A lot of people maybe have heard that. A lot of people maybe haven't. But if you've been working in the therapeutic realm of mental health for any quite some time, you'll have heard that many times. And it means, what can we control as individuals? What do we perceive is in our ability to control the things around us? And a lot of times that perception can mean the difference between the lightness and the darkness, if you will. I picked this topic because we have a lot of uncertain times right now. We've got this whole thing going on. The conspiracy theories are flying around left and right. It's disturbing to some degree because, some of it's feasible. Governments have proven not to be able to be trusted. So where do we leave ourselves in this weird time where we don't know how safe it is to walk out the door, and should we wear a mask? Should we not wear a mask? And nobody knows, right? Well, the thing about it is And for the last 6 or so weeks, I've been trying to just focus on my locus of control. What can I control? I cannot control what happened in Wuhan, China. I cannot control what happened, here in Katy, outside of my own 4 walls of my home for the most part. I can't control a lot, but I can control how I respond to the situation, which, let's be honest, it's been shaky, but I'm trying, and I think that's important. So, when you think about locus and control, it's not just about the perception of what you can control, but it's also, especially as it's opposed to external forces, right? So we have these external forces, which is the virus. We have these external forces, which is, the president. We have, the foreign governments, the oil situation, Saudi Arabia, and OPEC, and everything else that's going on. I live in Houston, so obviously that's a lot on everybody's mind. Well, unless you're dealing with those systems directly, and that's your job, your locus of control is probably pretty minimal when it comes to these things. So what can we do? Well, I know what I can do, which is take care of myself. I think self-care is, in the top tier of hierarchy of needs, emotional needs, physical needs, that have to be met for people to thrive and be able to do well in society. So, that's where we're at. So I invite you to start kind of thinking about that. What is your locus of control throughout the situation? And with that being said, what should you be focused on? Should you be worried about the things you cannot control, or should you be focused on the things you can control? So, I think you know what the answer is, but, how does that apply to you? And, as I think about it and as it applies to me. So, anyways, that's my first, topic of discussion over coffee. And, I also kind of wanted to say thank y'all for joining me, those that have. If y'all watch this later, that's awesome. I'm not a pro. I'm certainly, not a video editor, and I've been trying to put these videos together for a long time and try to figure out how I can move forward with my projects without necessarily having all the skills necessary to do it. And, I had an epiphany. I know what I know. And that's something. So this is where we're at. I know how to use Facebook Live. I know how to use my phone. I know how to use a tripod. Okay, that's something. And a good friend of mine, Gail, always talks about interventions with your health, or with, and specifically she talks a lot with neurodiversity and folks with autism, because we work in that world too. But when she talks to parents that have kids with autism, she always says, early intervention is best. But what does that mean? It means starting right, like now. It doesn't mean beating yourself up that you didn't get started yesterday. It means starting right now. So with that being said, this is what I know. I'm going to try to develop these skills. I'm going to try to get better, and I'm going to try to work with this process and be very forgiving to myself as I do it. Because I know what I know, and I can only build and learn and grow from here. So that's my approach to a lot of things in life. I hope maybe that y'all can learn a little something today. And yeah, so there you go. What kind of coffee y'all drinking? This is Texas Pecan, one of my favorite flavors of coffee. It's really the only flavored coffee I drink, but it's just got real pecans in it, so it tastes delicious. I don't consider that a flavor, that's just natural. But anyways, yeah, we're gonna get started and with some stretches. And I picked 2 stretches, just 2, so bear with me. This isn't gonna take very long, for a reason. Your lymphatic system, sinuses, come down in here into your clavicles. All right, this whole area is your drainage system in your neck, head, and shoulders. Okay, so when you're laying flat on your back every day, every night, sleeping, and if you're like me and you live in the southeast and there's pollen and pollutants and all kinds of crap, there's going to be drainage in your head. I get it a lot. If you don't get it, good for you. You know, I wake up, I use my neti pot every morning to try to help clear some of that out. But these are physical manipulations and exercises that you can do to start pushing some of those fluids around in your lymphatic system, up in your head, neck, and shoulders, okay? We're gonna keep going with that because there's more stretches that you can do and exercises that you can do to help push those fluids around. But today we're focusing on the head and neck. This is the first stretch I do every morning when I start my morning stretches. It helps wake the neck up, it helps wake the mind up, it helps put me in the right space to do my exercises. I practice yogic breathing when I'm doing this. We're not gonna get that deep into it right now, but here we go. So the first thing, everybody pretty much knows the stretch, but they probably don't know how to do it properly, or if they do, they forgot. I like to cross my hands, put them down in front of me, like at ease, if you were in the military, veteran. And then just put your head down like this and do slow rolls, okay? You come around like this. I go 5 each way. Go back the other direction. All right, then just give a little look to the right, to the left. Feels good. And then one more, just a simple shoulder rolls. Forward, same thing, 5, slow. The slower the better. Give it a little good shake. Get everything nice and loose, and that should help you. You can also just give a couple of stretches this way. Pull your head, not too hard. Be gentle with your body. You know, this isn't the stretching that you used to know from athletics and from the military, and you know, from those things where they're like, keep your legs straight, you know, go down as far as you can, and da 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 da. Where they're like, no, this is just doing what you can with what you have, and trying to feel a little bit better than you did a few minutes ago, and maybe try to get some of these fluids and stuff moving around in your body. Next week we're gonna do some shoulders. That's it. I hope this first you know, episode, or whatever you want to call it, of Coffee and Stretches with Doc wasn't too terrible. Thank y'all for joining me, and y'all have a great morning. Namaste.